after the proposal, my plan was to get married after 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I don't like wasting time. Hii kitu ichape, malize hiyo story ishe. But yeah, she's very detailed, very systematic, and she likes her things done in the right way. So we are still working out on the details. At least we did a traditional wedding. We met the parents, my parents met her, and wazee. Now from there, we're just supposed to do a wedding. But this is how she wants things done. And in that sector, I always leave it to her to handle it, because some things you cannot do them as a man. You have to allow the woman to take charge, and she's in control, and I'm happy that she's in charge.
We can buy a bit of time and sort some things on our end, so that by the time we are doing the church wedding, we are ready. So we are set to do it next year, but we are still there are some things that we have to put into place in order to do it. Yeah, but it's still on course. The traditional wedding is very acceptable in our African culture. So I think as regards a respected union, we have at least taken care of that for the respect of ourselves as two individuals, especially in the public eye, and then also for the respect of our families. At least we have surpassed that stage. In fact, our parents told us, sasa hata harusi sisi tutakuja tu kama wageni, you know, because now for the traditional one there was a lot of planning, but now that one they feel was the most important. Yeah. So now when we do the church wedding, they said they'll just come as guests. Yeah. Whatever we will want to do, whoever will want to do whatever, they are not, you know, they're not going to be interfering so much. Yeah. So I think we've gone a long way in terms of making the union acceptable in the eyes of the public.
But we are doing what we call the PMCs, like premarital counseling with our pastor. We meet every Thursday. We are taught about marriages and what we'll go through and what to expect, and it's working perfectly for us.
I think it's similar to every couple, because we also have couple friends who are in the limelight, and we have a lot of talks with them, and it's just usually funny because it's the same thing all over. And it's just the fact that we are two different individuals. So here is Vivian. She's learned to do her things like this. And then here is Sam. He does his thing in the exact opposite direction. So it can get so upsetting because it's like one test of faith after the other, you know. So maybe he does something today. Like for example, hizo tu mambo za kuacha socks sijui wapi. Unaona? So, okay, you tell him, Sam, please, take your socks and put them in the right place. He says, okay. So he does them tomorrow and the day after that. After that, nothing. Kula tu alikuwa narusha. So you really need to be very patient. Otherwise, you can hit someone with a pan on the head because you're wondering, okay, are we going to keep repeating some things? So, and for us, of course, it's not easy because we also work together. So we have a different way in which we work, because I'm very detailed, I like planning, I like systematic. He's like, we're doing this, twende. Hizo shida tutazitatulia kwa barabara. No? So for me, that really upsets me. So also just trying to find a balance in regards to the way we are two different people. But I really have to applaud Sam because he's very patient. Because I am the one now who feels like my head is flipping every time because I'm wondering, what are you doing, you know? But he's so patient. He says, okay, how do you want us to do it? What do you want me to do? Okay, I'll make you a cup of tea. The first few days, akitengeneza kwanza unanusa. Pengine inaweza kuwa imekuwa jik by mistake.
But nikijua, what I normally do, at times najua nimemkasirisha, najua. Also what I do, I wake up very early in the morning. Natafuta tu karatasi tule tu sticker. Na stick kila mahali kwa bedroom, kwa sitting room. I'm very sorry, please, I love you so much. I know you really care about me, please don't get angry. Alafu nakuja amezitoanisha zote. Hizi ni nini sasa? Unaharibu nyumba. Hizi ni nini?
So it's and even the fact that because of my space as Vivian now, sometimes I get into spaces whereby I need to withdraw from the public, and sometimes that involves him. So I'm like, Sam, right now I can't engage in your conversations. Give me a bit of space to put myself together, because you know the pressure can get to you. So I now that is what he used to struggle with, because he doesn't know ati give me space. Kwani naenda, I'm not going, I'm sitting here, what's the problem? So he wants to converse about things, and then me, I'm very introspective. I like thinking, I like analyzing, like I'm that sort of creative thinker. So those are some of the issues we have, because he never understood that creative space. Actually, it's our pastor who was trying to explain to him that for Vivian, sometimes she needs to decompress, because you take in so much, performing, the pressures. So sometimes she needs time to just decompress and be herself, so that now she comes back into the right mode to feed herself spiritually, emotionally. And sometimes he doesn't understand those things. He never used to understand. So he's still here in my face, I can't even breathe. I'm like,
I need space, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm like, okay.
Because that day I tell him I need space.
Anachukua simu, anapigia watu wengine. Na sasa main sister anataka space.
I'm calling my mom and my pastor
now. Because she's dating someone else.
Because the day I tell you I need space, even if he was planning, he had meetings, and anasikia tu anasema, can you postpone that for tomorrow? I'm like, I told you, can you go? I told you I need space. So he doesn't understand such things. It's really tough, because now me, I'm detailed. I like my clothes in a particular way. You know, I really plan, because now I'm used to being in the public light. So I really need to plan myself properly. Him, it's in the morning. We have meetings we need to go to. He doesn't know where his socks are. He doesn't know anything. So now he's on my case again. I can't see my shirt. I'm like, I can't deal with you now. Whatever you're going to wear, that's your problem. You give her a night shirt, that's on you. So trying to sort of like balance the personal living, which can get challenging, because we get home, sometimes I still have to cook or such things, especially when we don't have anyone in the house. Then he's there, miguu ametandaza huko, he's watching a movie, he's on his phone. That's the day he's remembered to reply his WhatsApp message for 3 weeks ago. Me, I'm suffering with pans. I'm like, excuse me, weren't we out together? Ebu come into this kitchen. He's like, but me, I have not been trying to do these things. So just trying to, because we are from different cultures. He actually just learned how to cook an egg just recently.
Sasa, just because nili deep fry mayai.
The other day he cooked eggs, he deep fried an egg. I looked at that egg, I said, why were you planning to kill me with mafuta ijae kwa roho? What was your plan? Like, I can't deal with it. So, and I don't have time to teach him. My life is running. So trying to deal with those things can really be challenging. Sometimes you're getting into the car, see you're well kept, your shoes, ukiangalia viatu zake unashindwa kama they are dusty. He's not even bothered. Well, it's a test, wacha nikwambie. It's not easy, people. But we are still here. God is good.
I always know that what we agree with Vivian in the evening, in the morning it might change. I don't know how that happens. Leo tuko hapa, kesho ame change mind. So you have to be very careful in regard to how you converse with her. That's why I've come to learn that for women, you just have to love them the way they are. You know, they say men, you don't need to love men, you just love them kidogo tu, and then try to understand them this much. But for women, love them this much, but don't even dare understand them. Because you'll never understand them. They are so different. You might even get into trouble for a dream that she dreamt. No, you are not even in that dream, but you're in trouble. So I'm always very careful when it comes to, I observe, leo tuko wapi, unajua, leo tunachezea wapi. So I'm always, that's how I try and get things working. Otherwise, you'd get very frustrated. And I've gotten frustrated many times, but I have to be very patient. Like kitu ya kwanza, anytime we are leaving the house, mimi utoka nje, natoa gari nje, napiga honi, bado ako ndani, ananiambia 1 minute, but tutatoka hapo after 25 minutes. So I have to be very, very, very patient. Alafu pia, of course, the fact that leo anaweza switch, so.
But thank you for never leaving me. He's very patient, by the way. He's very, very patient.
But it's because I was warned. Aliniambia ile siku utaniacha sijaribu kurudi kwa nyumba. So I can never leave her.
But we have so many things to do. Yeah, it's just we have things that haven't been done. We have to do them. We have to plan people in the house. But he's always waiting for, okay, but I'm going to change now.
Please change.
Yeah.
When you get into a relationship with someone, they come with two things. They'll come with gold and garbage. So the best you can do, if you really want that relationship to last, focus on the gold in that someone. Now, when it came to our relationship with Vivian, of course, the issue that she had a daughter and I had a son as well. So there's a lot of compromise that comes with that, and it's different because you're in a relationship, and of course there's the issue of the children. You need to first focus on the relationship between the two of you two. And I'm a very good friend of her daughter. Actually, the daughter prefers talking to me than to the mom, because I decided to just synchronize in the family, make friends with her. Of course, she knows I'm not the dad, but at the end of the day, she knows I'm a father figure to her. So I'm always keen on helping her out. I was actually telling her, because she likes running, so she's always, Sam, let's go run together. So I jump out, we run together. Like the other day, I was escorting her to school and we were competing, and of course mi ndiye nilimshinda, but nilimwachia ashinde. But that was a big thing for her. She was so excited, amenishinda mbio, and that's how to go about it, especially when you're having blended families. It's tricky, but you have to be very wise and understand, no, you're not living alone, you're living with someone else who has other people. No. Where I failed, no, I'm good. I'm very smart. I'm very intelligent. That's why I got an A.
But why don't you ever remember?
I was admitted Bachelor of Medicine at Nairobi Uni. Just that I dropped out after 1 week. But hiyo wiki pia kuna vitu nililearn. I can treat a few diseases kama homa nini hizo zote. I can. But when it comes to Kiswahili vile anasema, kuna vitu zingine ni confusing. Unajua zingine ni society. Inaleta confusion. I mean, at time they were asking jaza pengo. No, it was fill in the spaces. So walikuwa wameweka F dash C dash. Sasa mimi nilijaza vile nilikuwa nafikiria. Kumbe ilikuwa face. Ilikuwa face F A C.
In the beginning, it's very difficult because now these kids are being exposed to a space that they were not used to. But with time, as the relationship keeps growing, it's just like a normal relationship, and you start understanding each other, and you start understanding this child is like this, or this adult is like this. So it becomes easier with time, but it really requires a lot of patience because you are not a direct parent to this child, but you are like a guardian, and they want to feel like they can trust you, but you always need to remember that you are not their parent, because their parent will always be superior. So just understanding your space and encouraging this child in whatever capacity you can, but just understanding the space that you have. To single moms, I think one thing that the society has not talked about for a long time is the fact that in most relationships, especially now, a lot of women get children and sometimes the relationship don't work. I think this is something that each of us can attest to, even in our own families. And it doesn't mean that just because you got a child, there is something wrong with you. Even this other man got a child, the only difference is that he's probably not living with a child, but he also has a child. So I think we all just need to be more responsible and take responsibility for that, firstly as a society, and then for single mothers, we need to be aware of the position that we are in and to be proud of our children and talk about them, and you will get the right person, you know, but not forcing it. Don't let it be a very gradual process, you know, because right now you're mature, you're more exposed. So the process of even meeting a spouse or getting a partner or getting married with a child needs to be very gradual so that no one feels overwhelmed, so that the relationship still gets the attention it needs to get, but then everyone in the relationship feels catered for, because that's also usually the problem. A lot of men are shy of getting married to women with children because they feel like they will always suffer the second hand. But the truth is, you will have to be second hand. But then, as long as this woman is, because I know a lot of single moms who are just amazing. They are great women, they are great people, you know, and they are great wives even. So there needs to be an opportunity to embrace single mothers. And single mothers need to continue working hard in order not to make this child into a burden for someone else. Ease it slowly. See ati all of a sudden unalipa fees ya Brayband, sijui wapi. I mean, this guy is not used to such things. So just pole pole, gradually. Don't load things onto anyone. Don't load things onto this child, telling them now this is your new father. This is, no. Let things grow gradually and let people communicate. Let them develop a relationship. Let it be natural. And then all those other things fall into place. It's really about patience and time. And willingness, a good attitude. Yes.
A child is a blessing that comes from God, and it's always good to understand that you have a responsibility. As long as the child is yours, or even if the child is not yours, but you're leaving that child, that's a responsibility that you've been given by God, and you should just take charge and just man up and understand that this is your portion on this world. And you never know what this child will become one day. You never know whether this child is the one who will change your life as well. There's this young girl who has a very interesting story from Githurai, and her name is Amani. She's now become a child star. Actually, Vivian is doing something with her, and now she's providing for her entire family. You never know what God can do with that child that you're looking down upon. So any single father out there, any single mother out there, also don't forget that love can come to you anytime. Whether you have 3, 4, 5 kids, you will finally, or one day, all you need to do is be patient. One day you'll come across someone who will love you the way you are and appreciate you and take care of you. But that does not mean that you just sit there and wait. Start working towards supporting yourself, supporting your children, whether you have someone or not.
If there's one thing that needs maturity, it's relationships. In my experience, because I got into a relationship where I had someone physically abusing me, and this was a relationship that I had even after I had had my daughter. This is not the father to my daughter never abused me physically. So it was someone else. And it was someone that I did not know so well, but I was introduced to, and actually he beat me once, and that was the end. Because I had never fathomed in my head to ever find myself in that situation. Because sometimes the person who abuses you is, comes off wolf in sheep's clothing. Very, very well packaged, and they look like they know what they're doing. This guy is actually a public figure. He's actually a public figure. And of course, you'd not expect a public figure to have such behaviors, but that was the case. And it really, really demotivated me and it really contributed to how I shut myself off from relationships, because I stopped trusting everyone, and it really veered me off in regards to my career. And these are things that are happening even now in entertainment or any event buzzing, you know, everywhere. It can happen to anyone. And I just like to say, if this is something that's happening to you, you need to find someone and talk to them about it. Firstly, you need to stop hiding it, because the more you hide it, the more it eats you up. So you need to find an outlet. Talk to your pastor, anyone who you feel is intelligent enough, is mature enough. Even me, you can always inbox me and get help.
And me.
And Sam, because help is out there. And there's a way you can get out of this situation. It is not a situation that you have to remain there. Let me tell you, if there's someone who told me once, but you don't have a choice. I told them, there's no point in my life where I've never had a choice. You always have a choice. That statement of you don't have a choice, that's null and void. You always have a choice. It might not be packaged in the way you want, but it is a choice. And it is better than losing your life in the hands of someone who has their own internal issues. Because most people who batter you are also suffering from their own issues. Maybe they're distressed, they've had very, upbringing that has a lot of turmoil, they've seen a lot of violence. So that's the only way that they know how to communicate. So help is needed on both sides. On the abuser and the abusee, start with a conversation. So talk to someone.
Vivian's love language is actions. She prefers someone who does things for her to show love. True.
That's true. We learned that in our PMC class. Sam is he's a very interesting character. I would classify him as a hopeless romantic. He loves confessing your love, writing message here, you're my moon and my stars. That's his love language. I'm learning, it's not mine. Hugging, public display of affection, those things.
This thing that I did that pissed Vivian off is that she told me to carry for her a phone charger, and I confirmed I will bring it. Then when I went to the bedroom to pick it, I was called by someone else. I forgot about the charger. Then her phone went off and she was pissed off the whole day.
The whole day. All the statements would go, but is our charger. Yeah, I was not happy, but well, we are addicted to our phones. Yes. I think one thing that Sam really struggled with, especially back then, because he didn't understand it, is sometimes how I change my mind. Like, we can have talked here, we are going to dinner here and here and here. Then that day I'm like, but I don't like that place. Can we go somewhere else? It's like, what? But you said we can go there. So yeah, that.
We go to a restaurant and then she will be like, I don't want chicken. I don't like even eating chicken. Then me naitisha chicken. And then she eats all my chicken. So nashindwa. No umesema upendi chicken. Nini?
Well, I know his home nickname. Do you want me to unleash it? People like calling him Kareri. So I think that's the name that is used. I think in his school, growing up.
He asked high school.
High school?
Yes.
Gits. Was it Gits?
Hey, wakofi kwake.
It was Gits in high school. Your high schoolers are all over this town. Don't even breathe.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Vivian is the next, I don't know, she's like a queen all the way from heaven. I can drop your hapa on earth. And of course, God is always fair. Lazima angempatia a king. So
is that for me or for you?
So, but she's a very sweet girl that I really love, and someone that I can depend on. And even when I'm broke, I know she will always give me a piece of her money. And a piece, nasema a piece, a share.
A grain.
A grain, okay. A mustard seed. And she's very caring and so down to earth. And she's taught me a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things. She's actually changed my life from a very disorganized guy to a very organized man, a man with who thinks about other people now, and someone who is not just focused on money and materialistic gains, and I'm more focused on the aura and the humanity and also the surrounding and the people who you work around with or people you spend time with. You see them for who they are than who they're supposed to be. And so I've really learned a lot from her, and I appreciate her for that, and I want to thank her for being my shield and support. I think she's someone who was brought into my life for a reason and a purpose, and I attribute most of my recent successes to her, and she's also brought me closer to God. It's hard for people to understand that she's actually the one who makes me read the Bible every day, pray, and she takes me to church every Sunday and always ensures that my intentions are very sincere and very directed towards doing the right things. And I want to thank her as well for promising me 12 kids. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm ready for the task as soon as possible.
I think for me, I just want to appreciate Sam for being a great partner, for making me tea. Yeah, because I love tea. For being very patient with me, for protecting me and shielding me from so many things as well. And for walking with me in life. Even when I chase him, he never goes. So, Santi kwako, shikilia. I hope we'll have a similar interview 20 years from now.
No, we'll have other people in between us, 12 of them, 20 years from now.
And that's our love story.